Good morning, hello, happy Monday, everyone. Hope you're having a great day so far, be it beginning or ending or somewhere in the middle. Mine is obviously just beginning because it's my morning stream before I head off to work. And by head off to work, that really just means go upstairs and work up there. But until then, we have a little bit of time to have some fun with some code. So, where are we right now? We have our level displaying up here in the top left until we hit return. As soon as we take away the other message, that sort of display goes away and it never comes back. Like even if I die, that message won't be coming back. Now, why is that? We discovered yesterday that that is due to when we remove the message, we're just removing everything. We're just finding all the messages and removing them, which is not necessarily the best idea. So in order to prevent that from being, a problem in the future, let's head over to names, and we want to give a name to the actual message that maybe we could have it have a marker of a message too, because we also have the level text. Entity type, that's what it is. Entity types. Yeah, okay, so we have message and then we have this level text. So when we create the message and put it into the world, and I believe we have not a helper for it. I think we have a system. For display message, here it is. We're choosing this and then we're responding to competitor. All right, with marker entity message. Okay, so we have that in there. So then we need to find when we delete the message. Not draw message. This is working where it's just drawing everything that is a message. Down here, handle respawn system. Our respawn system is querying for the message and deleting it. And what I really need to do is query for the message and the ID. So I'm really just doing this to get the IDs. So I don't need message, I need a marker. So we have IDs that we're getting now, markers. And I'm thinking also, let's just throw this into a function. Make it a little bit of helper. So function, remove messages. So we know we're going to take the world in. It does not need to be mutable. I don't think we need anything else. And we're gonna do that right here. So remove all the messages, pass in a reference to the world, and do that. All right, so then you all get to come down here and be part of this. Then really nothing else like that. That's the big thing right here is we're removing the messages. So, all right, so first we're gonna start with a query for marker and entity ID. That's fine, we're gonna get the IDs out of here, and we're gonna get the markers. So markers equal to query get Okay, so we have the markers as well. We should loop through index, index and a marker. And enumerate that. Okay, so now we have the marker, which is this component data. So then I want to extract the marker out. I need to tell you exactly what you're going to be, which is a reference to a data wrapper with a string inside. And then we can borrow you. I don't need to own you. I don't need to mutate you. Just borrow you. Okay, so then we've cast. Oh, we can't borrow it yet. We can just cast it. That's all. Okay, so we can borrow it and check it. So if the dereferenced marker.borrow, if you're equal to entity, there's no entity type, so I need to add that in myself. All right, let's do the thing here. So we'll have player ship. And get player ID. And now finally, we need entity ID, entity types. How nice of you not to multi-line that automatically. Okay, so you're going to be entity types. This is going to be the message. All right, so if you're equal to that one, we know you're that message. Now we can basically get this ID, which is going to be the IDs of index. We cast it into this, and then we can world delete by ID and this ID. Okay, perfect. So I think that this should work now. It should only delete the one that we want it to. Let's verify. There we go. Level 1 stays around. Let's see if we can survive this level. And I wonder if I should make turning a little bit slower. It's a little harder to like level 2. Okay, perfect. So now our level system is working as expected. All right, so we've got a proper level system showing for us. We can play the game. Like in some ways, I like the fact that I can spin around really fast. In other ways, I feel like spinning around slower would help me fine tune my rotation. I wonder if I should do something like hold down control or something like that. I don't know. But what would be next? Let's actually go look at our design document, see what features we're missing from this. We've not looked at this in a long time. Here it is. All right, so display the current level. We are doing it. We may not doing it exactly like that, but we've got that. Shooting the asteroids breaks them apart. We've got that. New level after all the asteroids are destroyed. We've got that. Score increases based upon asteroids shot and level. We don't have a score, so we're gonna want to do that. So let's create a score. This can be a resource because, well, is that true? Can it be? I don't necessarily think it's going to be a resource. I think it's also going to be something that's put into the world because it's going to have a location and that's going to be displayed. So, because I'm planning on putting it, oh, I already have it open. I'm planning on putting it right down below level 2. So right down below there, we can have like score and have the number. Okay, so if I want to create the score, it's going to be created at the very beginning. So in our main library, we can have a create score. World, mute world, turn our result. Okay, so what are we gonna have inside of here? I'm thinking, well, let's just start with like a basic score 0, right? So we're gonna have a world spawn entity with component. What would a component name be? Well, we know it's gonna have to have, if it's a message, to display it, it needs a location and a message. I think that's all we need. So location first. Let's put this at 5.0, and then we're gonna go down by, I don't know, let's say 25.0, and sort of like see how that feels. And then we need names message, and then you're gonna be a text. So we're gonna create a message with score like 0, let's say. And scale, let's go to 25.0. Okay. If I don't do anything else, I think we should be fine. However, we should really give it a marker so we can extract this out later and update our score. So we do need to like have an actual score with this. U32s are possible, so we should give ourselves a, and do we have a name for it? We don't have a score. Let's add that in. Score there. I want to go to entity types and add in a score here. Okay, with components, names, we're gonna go with score, and your data is gonna be a 032, U32. And then we're gonna do a marker component. Marker, oh, I'm forgetting the toString. Okay, so then in here, this is an actual string. We want to store in, oh, this is the entity types. Score toString. All right, I think that's enough to like display that out. You need to be a toString. Do you need to be, oh, you need to be a reference. Like that, okay. Then we'll create the score up here. So let's see if we actually get a score displayed now. No, we don't. Okay, what happened? Panicked at called, result unwrap on an error value. You need to register before inserting components. Oh, perfect. I love that error message. So score, I believe, is what we added in. So we need to register a score. There we go. We have level and score. I could drop that down maybe by like a tiny amount more. But the general idea is there. Okay, so perfect. Let's go ahead and do the drop down right now so I don't forget. Our location, let's make you 30. Then everything else should be fine. Now, however, I do need to make sure that we update this score every time we like destroy something. So I think that's going to be in our handle, not collide with asteroids. I want handle bullets hitting asteroids. So here we're going to delete the asteroid and delete the bullet. To me, this means that we also need right here a function to update player score. Let's just update score. And what do we need in here? We're going to need the world. And just a reference to the world. I think that's going to be it. And I think that's going to be it, because I'm going to update based upon the level. Yeah, okay. I think that's going to work. Result. We'll see how it feels. All right, so then we're going to call we're going to call that. We're returning this here. Just call it down here. Update score and pass it in a reference to the world. Yeah, I should just be able to call in world like that. All right, what do we need to do? We need to know the current level, and we need to get the score, so we need a query. And the current level is a resource, isn't it? So your vector, you're going to be a names, everything with a score. Yeah, I don't think I need anything else here. We just need the score. But we also are going to need that scores equals get I think, let's see if we have that one. Let's get the level is equal to, do I have a helper for that? I don't have a helper for getting the level. I don't know if I need to either. I'm thinking for like the next time we go around, like the next game simulation we make, I might want to like create a generic helper, like figure out a function that can like extract one thing. Or maybe I'll just create a bunch of helpers sort of for it, or maybe a macro for that too. So I want to make sure I add that into my list. Where it's here. Guess we have like skills to learn, but this is like more Rust type things, but macros. I don't know exactly where else to put it right now. All right, back to you. Let's do a function for get level. We know we're going to turn a result with a U32 inside. So we're going to call in, I should do this up here. So get level, pass in the world, question mark U. And that way the world's not still being used down here, because technically we're still reaching into the level at this point, which means that it can't be used again. All right, so what are we gonna do here? We need level plus world get resource names level ring. That's going to give us our RC ref cell of a resource, so we can then borrow you here. Okay, gives us a ref as a resource, and we're going to return an OK with a dereferenced. Oh no, wait, can I? Oh, I think I can. A dereferenced level dot cast. Like that. I think that'll work because it knows exactly what type it needs to be. So then here we get the level here. We have our scores. The scores query, really. Then I want to take these scores. We know that there's really only one of them. And there should never be another one. So what I think that I can do is we can do an assert here. We can do assert equal that scores. Actually, we can do not an equal. We can do assert scores is empty is not is empty. Wait, no, that's okay. Scores dot length is equal to 1. Like it has to be equal to 1. Peyton Rules rating with a party of 7. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, Beporter. Good morning, Peyton Rules. How are you all doing today? Or we're waiting for everybody to come in. We can set up the Get the Streamer game. This one. I haven't got the AI yet, so I can't switch over to like the new game that we're making for this. But yes, if you haven't seen, the Get the Streamer game is a game we've made here, and it's one of the interactive games we do when we get raided. So you'll do using chat commands on the right to sort of like attack, and I'll do my best to avoid while checking chat out. So Peyton, I saw in your go live message you were working on Rust and WebAssembly still. How's that been going? Uh-oh, this is a rain of fire. Wait, can I get the heart? Yes. Even though you didn't mean to help me, I'll take it. Oh. This is a dangerous place. Oh man. I just couldn't get out of that corner. Congratulations, Epic Blarg, you had the highest score there. Did I miss a message from you, Peyton? I don't think so. Well, I suppose if you had to take off, that's okay. Hope that if you're able to hear this, hope that you're able to have a great rest of your day. That's what you get for being on mobile. Well, it makes it easier to not get banned. I don't think so. I haven't heard of like being banned for like the multiple chats. I've heard being like timed out. I don't think that's a problem for us recently. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Lost code. That's horrible. That's like the worst case scenario for like any developer. I'm just gonna send a message right now. That sounds terrible. Let's see. All right. Well, I hope he's doing good. Let's see. Now, what we're working on displaying the score to the system and now updating the score whenever we hit something. Happens to everyone at some point. Check your backups today. Yes. If there's a really good sort of like story/lesson in the Pragmatic Programmer book talking about this. I've been rereading it through recently, so it's fresh on my mind. But the idea is like, you should be able to, within 4 hours, like true emergency here, if within 4 hours, you should be able to go buy a new computer and have all of your data back up on it, including software. Like, in order to do like at least a little bit of work and continue working on it. I know that there's some things like the Adobe suite, if you're working on any like Photoshop type stuff, that will be 4 hours just to download that stuff. But the like code, like that kind of stuff, if we have it on GitHub all the time, then we should be fine, unless of course GitHub's down, and then we're screwed. I lost everything a long time ago. Things like my very first C program. Oh yeah. I remember like in college days, because like GitHub didn't exist when I was in college. I had no idea about any sort of like, I don't know if there's any really good ones that existed for me when I was there. And so like a lot of times I was saving my data to like floppy disks and to the network drive. I had discovered, because I was like big into IT stuff, I had discovered there was a network drive that my college let us all have for free. Like, well, part of the expensive, college cost. And very few people knew about that one. So I was able to store stuff on there. And so I didn't lose anything, thankfully. but I was working. I was working like computer lab, and I remember there were several people who like lost their theses for their like postdocs, and it was like they were devastated. And like that's where I was like, okay, let me take your floppy disk, which your entire life's work is in, and see if I can run a program to like extract anything on it. Your first apps are still on SourceForge, stored in CVS. Yeah, like when I got my first job, I was introduced to some of the really old change. I don't even remember what it was called anymore. It was terrible. It wasn't really a change. It wasn't really like a version control system. But at the same time, it kind of was. At the same time, it was really weird. It sucked. I'm so glad I use Git now. All right, so we have our scores. We verified that there's only one of them, which means that I can now just do score. So I want to get the score out and cast it at the same time. So we're going to do, you're a reference to a data wrapper of U32. Okay, so you're going to be scores of position 0. We're going to cast you that. Okay, so we have the score, and then I can immediately borrow this mutably, yes. So that mute score is how do I want to do this? It's going to be score.borrow mute. So that gives me a ref mute of this one. Okay, so then I can just do score, and let's do plus equals to like whatever we want to do. So let's say I just do 1. Every time we shoot a asteroid, we get 1. And you know what? I kind of like the idea of multiplying that by the level. So the level is a multiplier. Well, 1 times level kind of is itself. Math fail. We'll just do plus equals the level. There we go. That works. Okay, let's try this. He once helped a fellow student get pieces of his final paper out from a broken floppy using the sector editor. Not a great experience for him. Yeah, that's true. All right, so I have score of 0. I shoot this, and we have a score of 0. So, well, oh, you know why? The score probably is updating, but I'm not updating the mesh. I'm not updating that text. So we do need a system to handle that. Kind of would be helpful. So this is going to be update score text system. Okay, so what do we need in here? We need the world, which is a reference to a world. And I don't think we need anything else. We can just grab everything else inside of here. So we're going to return a result, an error result. Nothing inside. Okay, so this is where we're going to start here. All right, so what do we need out of here? We need the score, and then we need the text for it. So literally, that's just a single query. So that query is equal to world.query. have a vec of, okay, so we need to pull in names, which of course you don't know how to pull in, because why wouldn't you? Use create helpers names. Okay, so we're gonna have our score to get the actual like score out, and then we want the score text too. Names, what did I call it? Oh, it's just a message. Oh, right, it's just a message for it. I forgot. So you're a message. Okay, so there should only be one thing with a score and this. So I'm going to extract these out. So scores equal to query get names score. Names, wait, what am I doing? Message, string. Okay, so we got these two. I'm going to do an assert, so a little bit of a guard. Just going to do a normal assert. Scores dot length, you should equal 1, and messages dot length should equal 1. Like, you both should equal 1. And if you don't, we have a problem there. Okay, so given that, we should now be able to extract the score out, create a new message, and store that into messages. All right, so let's get the current score. It's equal to, I think I can pass that right here. So you're gonna be a data wrapper of U32. Okay, so scores of 0 dot cast that. And then we can borrow that when we like go and actually do the thing. Now messages, we kind of need to do the same thing, don't we? Messages, it's gonna be a data wrapper for a string. Messages of 0, I'm gonna cast U2. Okay, so we have, these are RC ref cells. We don't need you. Okay, so score messages. We can make this warning go away pretty soon. Well, we're just gonna throw that into update. For score and messages, we now need to create the new text. So the new score text, it's gonna be equal to create message, which you can't see there. There you go. Okay, so we can create a message here, and then this is going to be what the message is. So I want you to be a reference to a format, which is going to be score like that, and then we're going to have to borrow and deref. I think I can just do score.borrow. Wrong borrow. There. Like that. Oh, and a scale. What are we scaling you by? Let's do 25.0. Okay, that gives me a text here, and so we need to update our messages. So we're going to do a deref messages.borrowMute. You should now be equal to the new score text. Messages, you're not a string, you're a text. Like that. Okay, so then update score text system. We're gonna come back down to here in an update right here. Import you. All right, so now if I run you, will we see our updated score? Oh yeah, look at there. Okay. So now okay, last one. Okay, so now we have another one of these. Our score is 15. So when I do one of these, it should be incrementing by two every time. So 17. Perfect. How did I not die there? All right, so now our score can go up even higher. Nice. Yeah, I know that it's surprising how quickly this is sort of come together, and it's like with the ECS system getting just a little bit nicer to use every single time. We are okay. Here we go. Our score is already 99. Oh, nice. Of course, everything gets really crazy really quickly. Every time we implement, we increase the level, we increase the number of asteroids there are too, and we increase our speeds by just a tiny amount. What it does mean is that eventually it becomes unplayable because there's just going to be so many asteroids and so many fragments of those running around. It's going to be impossible, and it happens long before we can't survive. Although, okay, I was gonna say I'm on still my first life. I'm totally fine. All right, so this message is gone though. That's not good. Do you plan on making Twitch integrations into this as well? Yes, I want to have this replace the get the streamer sort of interactive thing we do when we get rated. I have two ideas. Based upon whether or not I can implement a basic AI for us and have it make it like good enough that it doesn't just frustrate anybody who's trying to like rely upon that. Okay, so I could create a new player. Now, do we have this? Oh, look at this. We have no message here. So the message is gone and being displayed there. Oh. Okay, hold on. Update score textism. This assert is incorrect. Although, is that true? We do only have one. It would have crashed if it was incorrect. So If I don't do the update score system, do I still get the names? I don't. Okay, so I think in level, I think this is fine. But in display level, I think because that we're not getting the message about like no. So it's not there. What's causing us not to have our update message? We have create message, display message. Okay, so we have our insert the message into the world. For our basic lives remaining, okay, so this should be fine. Okay, so this is based upon the handle message system. Okay, so here we're running the handle message system. If I update life system, which one of these did I do that like breaks it? No, not that one. And our display out should be fine. This could be draw message. So we're drawing, okay, so we're getting all the messages that have locations. And we're drawing them out. That should be fine then. Why am I not seeing these? If I just debug message. Oh, I have to debug a reference to the message most likely. Oh, because like you don't have the actual text fragment. Oh no, you do. Okay, so we have like score 0. Level 1. It's not in there. Okay, so that's what, it's not making its way into the world for some reason. So display message, we're querying for all right. If messages.length is greater than 1, return okay. I knew that this was going to come and bite me in the butt last time we did it because we have 2 messages in there now. We have the score and we have the level. We need to be a bit more what is it called? Strategic about this. We have to get a marker out. And we have to check our marker for this. Okay, so we extract that markers is equal to create get marker string unwrap you. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to check to see if in this marker, do we have a message? Does a message exist? So function does is message in query. So we're going to be getting this vec of component data in here. So this is going to be all the markers. You're going to be a reference to a vec of a reference to component data. And we're going to return a result with a Boolean inside. All right, so how do I want to do this? I want to start with false. So let mute result is, I guess, like does message exist equals false, and I'm going to return an okay. Does the message exist? Right off the bat. Then I'm going to loop through these markers. So for markers, that gives us a reference to this component data. I need to then cast this into the data wrapper. So that marker reference to data wrapper, you're a string because you're a marker. It's equal to marker.cast. Then we can borrow this and check. Okay, so if a dereferenced marker dot borrow, you're equal to, and this can be our entity types message to string. Okay, so if you're equal to that, then well, look at this. We can just return an okay true is message in query. I don't need this flag. We're just gonna return okay false. And you don't want to be the vector. You're just gonna be like that. That's fine. Then we're going to call is message in query here for this here. So if is message in query, pass it in those markers. If this is true, we're going to do an early return. Otherwise, we're going to add in our markers. This is going to be a little bit nicer. And we need to question mark u. Oh, and we don't even need messages anymore because we're just going to be creating a message and throwing that in. So we don't need you. We don't need you. We're just going to grab the markers. Okay, so let's see if this works now. There we go. Press enter to start the game. Okay, so we go here and we can play. Let's go ahead and get ourselves killed. There we go. Perfect. Okay, everything is working as expected, which means we can come back to here. So score increases. We've got that. We've displayed the score. Display the number of lives left. Okay, so we don't have that. Display the number of lives left. So how do I want to do this? We do have a player. And I think we're rotating the player in the draw player. Is that true? I wonder if I can get away with just like a simple system for this. In draw here, we're basically saying, okay, give me everything with a location, a rotation, and a mesh. And I'm gonna add you in here. But we know the number of lives we have left. I could have a system, or we can just like use this here. We can just add this in. I can also get a marker to determine if it's the player. If it is the player, that gives us the mesh, and then I can display that mesh in a couple different times. I can just do a couple more draws based upon the lives left. Or we could just do another text with lives left. I don't know if it really matters that much. Let's try it this way. I think it's gonna be a little bit nicer for, like nicer from a game design standpoint. Let's get a marker in here. So marker to string you. Okay, so we have you. We need to grab you out too. So marker, data wrapper, string, markers, index. I'm gonna cast you. Now I want to tell, we're gonna do an extra draw based upon if this is the player's marker. So if dereferenced marker.borrow, if you're equal to entity oh, no helpers in here. Oh no, here's the helper. We need entity types. Entity types. That's what I want. Okay. Entity types. You're the player. Okay, so if. Okay, so if our marker is the player, then what do we want to do? I want to also draw the number of lives left. So we're going to do that down here. We have a function. Draw player lives remaining. So it's gonna be lives -1, I think. So what do I need here? I need the lives that we have left, but that's gonna be, okay, so I need a world. But I can't have a world because it's being used up here. I'm gonna create a helper for get lives left. Okay, so we're gonna have a world. It's a reference to a world. And we're gonna return a result with a U32 inside. Lives left is a... Oh, it's a query. We have to query for this. Is that true? I might be lying. It might actually just be... Flint Rusty, hello! Good morning. So we have a resource of level, lives remaining. Okay, so we do have a resource of lives remaining. Where do I live? I live in the United States, in Colorado. Oh, it's nighttime where you are? Okay, well then good night, good evening. Saying good night when it's not like, oh, goodbye is kind of weird sounding or feeling. Okay, so we're gonna get a resource out of here. So that's gonna be our lives left is equal to world.get resource names right, use super get live, no, it's names. Okay, so lives remaining string. I think that's all I need here. Oh, you looked up the Pragmatic Programmer book. How have you started reading it? How do you like it? And then we can borrow this. Okay, then we can cast it. So I can cast it and return it right here. So we're gonna return an OK with a dereferenced lives left dot cast, like that. Turns out there's 2 versions of the book. Oh yes, that is true. Yes, they are different. They are different. The first one was written in the 90s or the really early 2000s. I can't remember what. It's been like 20 years since they wrote the book. And so there's a lot of updates to it. Specifically talking about like security and other things. So yeah, I would recommend getting the 2nd edition. Okay, so that gives me the lives left here. So then we need to, I don't have any helpers. Oh, here it is, helpers. Get lives left, get lives left. So then we need to do that up here. Let lives left equal to get lives left and pass it in a reference to the world. That. Then down here, if we have the player, we now want to draw the player lives remaining. So I'm just going to call draw player lives remaining. We know we're going to need, well, I'm not going to worry about that right now. The book costs like $5 there. What's the exchange rate? The book is pretty expensive here, I want to say. If I look at Amazon, Pragmatic Programmer, it's $41 US, almost $42. Wait, that's hardcover. Hold on. Kindle version is $28.79. That's significantly that's a much better deal. Oh, you're in Vietnam, so it's pretty cheap. Nice. That's great. Yeah, I do know that they made a lot of translations for it, and it became like one of the the best like the most read like programming type books. I like it a lot. Okay, so you're gonna get the English version. Okay, nice, yeah. Okay, so draw player lives remaining. So if we're actually gonna be doing the draw here, we are gonna need a context. And we're gonna need the meshes for the player mesh. And the player mesh, which is gonna be a reference to a mesh. And we're gonna turn a result that. So, okay, we do know you need the context. Okay, player mesh. We kind of have that here. We can borrow this. Actually, so you're not gonna be you're gonna be a ref mesh. Okay, so you're gonna be a mesh dot borrow, like that. Okay, so far you're not yelling at me. Then I want to, for the lives left. Okay, so we need the lives left too. So lives left is gonna be U32. And we'll pass that in here too. Lives left. Okay, so for we can do count in 0 lives left. I want to then do a draw. Do a graphics draw. Pass in that context. The drawable is going to be the player mesh. And then do a draw param new. We have to give it a destination. Let's give it, okay, so it has to be a new point. Okay, so we're gonna have our X position. Let's have this like 5.0. So like 5 over to the left plus, let's actually have that our X position is gonna be equal to 5.0. So like a margin of 5 plus however like wide we think this mesh like needs to be. So let's just say it's going to be like 25.0 times times our count as an F32. So then you're going to be our X, and then the Y is going to be, let's just move you down like 50.0. Just see how that feels. You consider borrowing here. Okay, so you don't like the ref. Can I do something like deref like that? That. All right, so let's say that you're not a ref. That you're a mesh. So you're fine there, but then here we're gonna borrow the mesh. Oh yeah, okay, look. Here we're doing this mesh borrow, so it's gonna be that. Well, it's not yelling at me. So let's see if it likes this. We're going to cargo run and see if we have lives left displaying. We do not. Wait, we don't have any players. That's why. So here's our player. Oh, okay. So we need to be able to get the players out. We kind of want to like display our lives left no matter what. I kind of feel that this is not the best way to go about it, because like the literal query for the players doesn't exist. Because the player with the player mesh isn't there. I think for right now, I'm going to just do like the less awesome version. It's 400 plus pages. It is a very long book. Yes, it is a very long book. A long time. So I got the audio book of it, and I've been reading it as I go hiking. So like every week, and then sometimes on weekdays when I go walking around outside, I listen to it for about an hour or so. It's let's see how long the book says it should take to read out loud. I'm about halfway through. It's 4:56 and I have 4:58 left. So what is that? Like 10 hours? 10 hours of reading time. And it takes longer. Like you could usually read a book faster than the audio version. So you should probably finish it before me, because like I'm not listening to it every day. All right, so draw player lives remaining. How do I want to do this then? I think I want to just do this as another message. So I'm going to undo what we have here. We're not going to need you. We're not going to need this marker anymore. Not going to need you. Don't need you. Don't need you. So what that means is we're going to create a new message for lives left. We should do that. Yeah, so like create score, create level text. Let's do that here too. So function create lives left text. Take immutable resource reference to the world. Have our result. World. Okay, we're gonna spawn an entity with component. All right, so we do remember we have to give it like names and locations. So names, location to string, and your data, it's gonna be a point new. Let's give it 5.0, and I think like 60 might be better. With component, the actual message that we care about. So that's names, message, string. We're going to do a create message. We're going to say there's going to be lives remaining. You're like, I think 3. But let's actually pass that in. Oh, yeah, I would need to pass that in here. That would need to be this format, a reference to a format. With lives left. I mean, I can even do this, and like we don't have that in there. We'll do 25.0 because that's what they're all scaled at. Oh, wait. This is my scale. 25.0. Okay, so then we need a marker as part of this. Which means we need to go into entity types. So we have score. Okay, we need lives text with component names, marker. And this is going to be our entity types, lives text, to string that. Okay. So if we have that, we then call create lives text in here. Pass an immutable reference to the world, unwrap you. And if we run you, did I forget to return? Yeah, I didn't return anything. There's those lives left. Okay, so I mean, it's a suboptimal like experience for like the lives remaining, but I don't know like the best way to like probably like reorganizing a bunch of other stuff. I don't know if I want to do that right now. I'm sort of like happy with like just leaving these as text, unless we have like some kind of performance problem with like creating the text and displaying it all out separately. But all right, so we have lives left, and so we would need a system to update the lives left, and then it should auto display. Yeah, that should just work. However, that being said, it is 8:18, which is after my normal stopping time. It's of around 8:15. So I'm going to wind this down now. So I'm going to go ahead and shut off the YouTube video here. So I'll see you in the next video.